And we're back. My phone died. I'm super lucky that it saved that video before the phone died because I did not want to have to repeat all that stuff I said and cover all that stuff. And I also don't want to leave a gaping hole in my build. So I'm glad that footage is still there. Alright, anyways, let's put on these discs. I need to stop just rambling and get to the point, I think. These videos are already way too long and I'm not editing them at all. So yeah. I guess I'm gonna do some like pointers, build pointers while I do this, might as well. Obvious things probably to most people, but obviously don't touch the outside of the rotors. If you want to hold the rotor with no gloves, probably should wear gloves, but just hold the inside of the rotor. And yeah, pretty much always goes the writing on the rotor towards you. Don't put the writing on the rotor where you can't see it. Pretty obvious stuff once again, but just covering some of the basics. The question is, do I want to use these rotor bolts? I mean, I'll just use the ones that came with. Why not? Yeah, it's like Torx. I don't know what size it is. T25, I think. You always want to, I put them all in like loosely and then, yeah, I'll cross the bridge when I get to it. First of all, just put them all in loosely. Don't tighten them all the way down yet. Like I said in other parts of the videos, I think I'm going to end up using some oil slick titanium bolts that just look really cool. They match the valve I'm using for that Aurora Borealis theme that I'm trying to go for. If you guys have any other recommendations or like ideas of things I could use to kind of fit that theme while maintaining a budget, I'd love to hear them. I actually, I'm like embarrassed to say this, but I looked for like to see if there was a legitimate oil slick colored handlebar that I could use that was actually like a legitimate mountain bike rated handlebar. And actually State Bicycle Co. makes one. But I emailed them and asked them if it was rated for trail riding. They said no, it wasn't. So I'm like, okay, well, the geo wasn't right anyways. Like I mentioned in the parts discussion video, the geo I'm looking for on my handlebars is very specific. Like I really like that 12-degree back sweep area for mountain bike trail riding. Especially on a bike like this, where I can see myself riding it like adventure type rides, longer type rides. You definitely want that back sweep. I'm a flat bar, flat pedals kind of guy. And with flat bars, they limit your hand position. So for longer rides, you definitely want to have that comfortable back sweep. I've messed with like inner bar ends on the Nord-S, which I actually really like as well. Anyways, so we got all the bolts in here. Now, grab the inside of the rotor and you twist opposite the way the brakes are going to go. So the arrow is going this way. I'm going to twist the rotor the opposite way and then tighten in a star pattern. Tighten that one. I guess I'm not truly doing a star pattern here, but I'm kind of, you still want to do them all sequentially. Like if you ever change your wheel on your car, I recommend doing a star pattern on that as well, just to even out the tension across the bolts. Get your tire on there nice and level. I mean wheel nice and level, not all wobbly like I just did with my cassette. I could use it, I have a torque wrench, I could be using a torque wrench on these, but I don't know, man. It's not a thing that I really care too much to use a torque wrench on. I just kind of do them snug. I'm not super concerned with the torque wrench on these bolts. And if all goes well, I'm going to be changing these out anyways. I think we're good. Okay. Should be good and firm. Let's move on to the next one. Shoot. This in the background so you can admire my handiwork. Not serious. Next one. Really stoked to see what the colors look like on this frame. I'm imagining like some kind of like chameleon type paint. I don't know if it's that sophisticated, but I think it also has like a little metallic sparkle as well, which I'm an absolute sucker for. Oh, another little detail. These tires are supposedly 2.6, but I measured them with a caliper and they're more like 2.55. They don't seem like it. They don't look like a true 2.6 either. That being said, they should definitely fit in the fork. It's funny because I emailed Suntour and they implied that a 2.6 tire would not work in that fork, which is funny because they're just like asking me not to buy their product. It's absolutely gonna fit. There's no doubt. I will test fit it off camera, not in this video, just to be sure, obviously, but I'm 100% confident it's going to fit in that fork. I'm really, I'm kind of stoked to try a Suntour, like a Suntour fork that isn't a Walmart Suntour fork that actually has a good air spring in it. See how it compares to the Pike Ultimate back to back. I think it'll be just fine. Twist it away from the rotation it shows on the rotor to simulate your brakes biting and pushing back on it. And after you get a few bolts snug, you shouldn't have to worry about pushing back on the rotor as you tighten. It's pretty much held firmly in place at this point, even by one or two of them. Tightness check for all of them. Alright, that's it for the rotors, and that's it for the wheels. Unless we revisit, if I do even make any minute changes like using titanium oil slick bolts for the rotors, I'm going to film every single thing I do to the bike until it's 110% complete up to my spec. Just because I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna feel incomplete if I don't include every single step of the way in this build. So yeah, here are the wheels. Let's get them back in frame. Maybe a little heavy. I don't like to use that word. I like to use the word robust. I don't want to offend anyone here. Alright, let's see if I can move this camera so you can see what I'm doing on the workbench. Let's put these here. Clean that up later. I want to see if I can train this on the workbench so you can see. Let me put in the Jockey wheels. This workbench is super tall because I'm kind of tall, so and there's a step up to it. I guess if I turn it, you'll be able to see it. Make this work. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's not the worst angle in the world. So basically what we're going to do here is just install these Jockey wheels. We got these DJC ceramic bearing oil slick. They're claiming 70-75 aluminum. I ain't even going to lie to you, these things do feel a bit chintzy. Compared to the other $3 Jockey wheels I got from AliExpress, these feel even a little bit more chintzy, even though these were like, I think I paid like $12 or something. It wasn't much. We're gonna run with them. We're gonna see how they go. If they're absolute shit, like I said, I'll just put on the other ones. No biggie. I think they're gonna look pretty sick though. So let's do it. And I did this on my Kodak Flare Max, and I also did it on my Nordest. I did it on Advent X derailleur and also a SRAM GX, another SRAM GX Eagle derailleur. And for those, I just used black ones. Yeah, they work really well, and it's just such an easy thing to do, especially if you have your. I mean, it's easy even if you have your derailleur on the bike, but if you have the derailleur off like this, it really doesn't get much easier than this. And let me turn so you can see. Just pulled out the bolt. And this thing has a little, you can see it has a little sealed bearing in it as well. It has little covers on the side. You shouldn't need these covers because they're just integrated in. They're just integrated into this thing. Should be the same. I mean, I could measure it, I guess. Got a digital caliper, might as well. They're 8 mil thick exactly. And this is 7.5. So we'll see how it goes. Said it was compatible with SRAM, so see how she goes. Oh shit, maybe I should clean this a bit. It is pretty dirty, and while we're in town, we could just hit it real quick with the. I always use rubbing alcohol. I always keep a bottle of isopropyl close by for builds. I'm always like cleaning shit off, and it's really good for degreasing things quickly. Degreasing your hands. If you accidentally get grease on something, like if you're putting the bars and stem on, and you accidentally get grease on the steer tube, which is not something you want to do when you're putting on the stem, I'll hit it with isopropyl. Look at all the shit it takes off. Yeah, I got this derailleur secondhand, so we're just hoping and praying that it's mechanically sound. It looks totally fine to me, and it looks pretty insanely clean. Tell me how this jockey wheel is this clean. I don't understand. It's like this person never once lubed their chain in their life. I really don't understand. It has a scrape on it on the side, like it's been used, but both of these jockey wheels are just completely clean. It's kind of wild to me. Anywho, let's put these on. Hope this is the right size, because it was half a mil thicker than the other one. It looks like it's slotting in just fine though. You guys see what I'm doing? I'm trying to turn it. It's really hard to work like this, but I'll try to make it visible. Oh, just like that. I mean, there's really not much to see here, but yeah, just like that. It spins nice. You would hope they're claiming ceramic bearings. Yeah, it's nice and tight in there. Let's do the other one. This one's a little bit harder to get to. It's behind the derailleur. Should be easier to do this. Hopefully that doesn't spring out of me, because that would hurt like fuck. There we go. Easier to access now. Comes undone, it'll just chop my finger off, no worries. Same deal with this one. I'm going to hit it with a little isopropyl while I'm in town. Get all over my new workbench I built. Well, yeah, I guess I do see a little grease accumulated in here, but yeah, Arkansas trails are really dry. It looks like this guy just either he's like waxing his chain or doing some next level ninja shit to never accumulate any grime in these jockey wheels that he had in here. Because there was nothing on those. I'm calling that good. Just like that. I mean, easiest shit in the world to install these. Yeah, I mean, for 12 bucks, I really actually wanted to get silver jockey wheels. They didn't have them in stock. It was another brand, a different brand called Aloe Gear. They were maybe like $1 more expensive, a couple dollars more expensive. It's like 16 bucks, but they only had black. It's like if you're gonna do jockey wheels, you gotta bling them out. So it was black or oil slick. I went with oil slick. That's pretty much it. I mean, they also came with these spacers, but I didn't even need to use these. Alright, so here's the end product here. Hopefully the lighting's not too terrible, but here's a better view from this angle. Let's see what it might actually look like as a derailleur on a bike. Okay, that's not a better angle. Yeah, this lighting is horrible. I'm sorry. You get a better idea when it's on the bike, but anyways. We are done for the night, folks. I'm going to upload these videos and we'll continue as I get the rest of the parts and the frame in. Peace.